So this is one of my many STs, colour dyed the case and the external Gotek display. Got an internal Gotek on the side, obviously. But the reason for this video is the monitor port on the back of the machine, which is that one there, has always been a little bit on the wobbly side. And now it's at the point where you've just got to get in just the right position, otherwise you don't get a signal through. Now, originally I thought it was going to be a dry solder joint on the back of the part. However, having resoldered that, it's made no difference whatsoever, and the part still feels wobbly when you put the connector in. So I've got myself a replacement one. So this video, I'm going to take the old one off and fit a new one, and hopefully that will resolve those issues. So fingers crossed, let's crack on. So this is it upside down, just to protect the external Gotek from being shoved into the desk. I've just supported it on one side whilst I get the screws out. So it's not too tricky to get in. What I will do as I go along is I will take the floppy drive screws out as well at the same time, because otherwise that'll just be in the way. Whoop. Steady. Now it's worth mentioning now, if you do have an Atari ST, the plastic does indeed get very brittle, which I've done a video about. So when it comes to putting the screws back in, I would just suggest almost finger tight and then just a little more of a turn, just to give it a bit of a bite, and then leave it at that. Any more than that, and in my opinion, you risk snapping the screw posts, which, if you do that, you'll want to watch my other video. The solution isn't the neatest, but it does work. Right. There's 2 screws in for the drive. Is that one going to come out? Probably not. Let's just flip it back over. I think that will drop out. Yay! So, with it having an external display, there are a number of wires underneath which I'll need to disconnect first to get this display on the top half off. As you can see, it's quite well designed by the eBay seller, and they all just come apart quite easily. Have we got them all? Yes, we do. So I'll get the top half out of the way. Won't need that for a while. And then it's just simply a case of getting everything else out and getting the motherboard out. Which, if you've seen my other videos on the Atari ST, you'll know what's involved. But just in case you haven't, I'll leave these bits in. So we'll get the shielding off. He says. Excuse my head. That's that off. And take the one off over the power supply. One, two. I can't remember if there's one around the back. No, there isn't. So that just lifts off. Be mindful of touching electrics. Take the screws off, holding the motherboard down. And then, one's for the power supply as well. They need to come out. And then I think, if my memory serves me correct, this should just lift up and out. What you will find with these is that it's much easier to remove the motherboard and the power supply together, having taken those two screws out, than it is to try and get the power supply out first. Top tip. Right. Get some tweezers and just twist these tabs, and we should be able to get the top bit of the shielding off. I'll use my side cutters because I can't remember where I put my pliers. Twist, twist. Not done the back ones. Twist down here. Clear. Take this Gore-Tex off while I remember. There we go. Unless I've missed one. One down here, two down here. Yeah, missed another one, just in that corner there. Right, is that ready to come away now? Yes, there we go. So that's the top shielding off. We've got the motherboard. We can now disconnect the power supply and get that out of the way too. So that's it. Get the motherboard out of the back tray. Should just lift up. Says so that's the motherboard out. So the monitor part is this one here. So let's flip it over, have a look. Oh. The thing for the mouse to drive on. So you can see here, I've already been in and done a bit of a resolder job on the back of there. Not the neatest, but good enough to make it work. Let's get this desoldered and get it out. Right, let's see if we can get some of this solder taken off. I'd normally put some flux on beforehand, but because I'm lazy, I've left a load on from the last time I did it. So I know that the solder's fresh on it. I think that's got most of it. I just need to put a little bit more solder on this one here. I'll use this rather than get my soldering iron out. Little blob in there. Let's see if we can clear that again. Yeah, that's much better. It is. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. Some of these big blobs off. There we go. Sorry if my head's in this, but I think we should be more or less free at that. Let's just have a look. Don't want to be ripping traces. Right, let's give those a bit of a wiggle. We're still in shot. Yeah. Just to give me solder sucker a clean out. What is that fluid? Bit of flux. Let's give that another wobble. I think these are free. This is moving at the front a little bit on one side. Try and keep it in shot for you. So I didn't realise it stopped recording. Thought I'd just get rid of some of this excess solder around here. Just make everything a little bit cleaner to see what I'm doing. It's a bit better then, isn't it? That's a bit better. Right. So the hole close back up again. Yes. Oh, blob on. Just suck it off. I'm not quite happy with that. Still got some solder in the hole. Still got a little bit. Let's see how we get on. Let's tidy up the rest of it first. Most of the pins are free. Tell you what, let's give it a bit of a clean. Where's the IPA? Found it. A bit easy to see now. Right. Let's see how this socket's feeling. Right. Yeah, that seems free. That one seems free. Let's... Still in shot. Yeah. Let's see, let's go into the solder sucker and look. Oops, I'm not really seeing anything. The holes seem pretty clear. Really? So I'm just looking at that one there and that one there. I think it's okay. Yeah. I think it's just pull the top across. So let's get So I've pulled the socket, so I've pulled the socket out. It seems to have just pulled the top of the wire across a bit. Need something a bit small. Right, so that's got more of a finer point on it. Yeah, that fire, as I've taken the leg through, it's just, so it's still been attached a little bit and it's just pulled it through. Let's move back across now. Right, let's see if the other socket fits, which it should do. I need to just flip it over just to line it up. Just zoom out a minute. So there's just a bit of a blob of solder on this side where it mounts. Let's get that out of the way. I need to suck that. Hold through. Almost. Yeah, we've got the hole. So, let's see if we can get the new one on. Yeah, that's slotted in nicely. Let me try zoom back in for you. I have no idea what's going on. Right. All those pins are through. Right. Let's stick some flux on it. Try to do with a flux pen, but nevertheless, this is what I've got. Not sure that's still stuck in nicely. I'm going to turn my soldering iron up here. Got it 360, but I think with it being on that trace, it's just sucking all the heat away. Sorry, I've got a really annoying camera that stops recording after 8 minutes. And it doesn't beep to remind me, so apologies for that. So, I don't know how far the recording's got, but I've just got and soldered the socket on. Let's just give it a bit of a clean, let's not be lazy. Right, how's that looking? It's looking okay. Tell you what I will do, that is I'll get my multimeter and just make sure none of these connections are bridged. I'll be back in one moment. Right, so I'm back with my multimeter. Let's have a look at these. Let's test it. We're good. I think we're good. Right. Let's get it plugged in, see if it works. Right, slight change of venue. I'm in my son's bedroom, whose computer it is anyway, so it's just easier for me to connect up. I've got the power lead plugged in, I've got the monitor lead plugged in. Being careful not to touch the wires. And it does this, which is really strange. It's like half and half. So it's just going in the top of the TV, but when I reset it, it gives a full screen. And I have no idea why it's doing that. I don't know if it's the TV or the Atari ST. And I haven't had a chance to connect it up to another TV yet. But the good news is, at least now, the cable's nice and solid. So this might be something I need to look at a later date, or it's just the TV being screwy. But either which way, it's working in a fashion. Thank you for watching. Right, super. So I just thought, you know, for the sake of it, I'll just get connected up to a different display, and it's absolutely fine. So I could only imagine the TV in my lad's room doesn't really agree with the ST, but it's fine once you reset it. So mystery solved, and yeah, let's get it put back together.